Good morning everybody and happy Friday. I hope you're all staying well and safe. And although we can't be together at the moment, I know some people are watching this at home today and some people are watching this at school, so that together we can all join in our assembly, our Friday assembly, just as we always do on a Friday at school. Now, you might be wondering why it's dark, and if you're at home or you're at school today, you might be watching this in the daytime thinking, it's not like this where I am. Well, that's because I'm at home at the moment and I thought I'd record our assembly this evening, ready for tomorrow morning. So at the moment it's Thursday night. I wonder if you like my lovely lights that I've got in my garden. When I'm feeling a bit down and I'm missing you all, I like to look out at my lights and they cheer me up. Wonder what you're doing at home with your adults to help you cheer yourselves up. Because sometimes when we can't see our friends and do the things that we usually love to do, it can make us all feel a bit sad, and it's okay to feel like that. But I think the important thing is to think about all the wonderful things we can still do together. You can still hug your adults. You can still hug your brothers or your sisters or anybody else who lives with you in your family. You can still read together. You can still play games together. You can go on walks together. All of these things we can all still do together at home. And I want you to think about all the things that make you feel happy and help you to keep going even when things get tricky. Now, this term we're thinking about acceptance and difference. What makes us all special? We had our story, do you remember about the moose last week? And the moose didn't want to be controlled, did he, by his owner? He was very, very special. And he liked different things. He wanted to do different things. And today I've got a story about the koala who could. And I'd like us to think about what makes the koala special and what he learnt to do by the end of the story. So are you ready? The koala who could. In a wonderful place, at the breaking of dawn, where the breezes were soft and the sunshine was warm, a place where the creatures ran wild and played free, a koala called Kevin clung to a tree. His favourite way to relax in the sun was to cling and to nap and to munch a leaf bun. He was terribly good at all these things. Yes, Kevin was king of the staying still kings. There he is up in the tree. Can you see him? Do you know Mr. James? He has a brother and he lives in Australia and they have koalas in their garden. I'd love to see one. You see, high up was safe, since he liked a slow pace, while the ground down below seemed a frightening place, too fast and too loud and too big and too strange. Nope, Kevin preferred not to move, not to change. He preferred to be clinging to his tree. Or clung to his tree. So he clung to his tree as he knew how to do, and was never too keen to try anything new. So when Wombat stopped by and shouted one day, "Hey Kevin, why don't you come down here and play?" Do you think Kevin's going to go? Have a look. He doesn't look too keen, does he? I think, he replied, I should stay on my plant. I'm busy right now. No, I'm sorry, I can't. Why not? Cried the Ruse, who liked the idea. Yes, why? Called the Dingoes. You've nothing to fear. But Kevin who wasn't the do things quick sort, said, "I've clinging to do, but thanks for the thought." As Kevin sat watching them chatter and share, a part of him wished he could join in down there. Can you see them all round the campfire having a good chat? But he knew he'd miss home in the dark and the late. The whole thing was risky. Adventure could wait. Whatever the invite, he'd always say no. Oh dear, it seemed Kevin just couldn't let go. Sometimes do you feel like that? Sometimes your adults might ask you to do something and you don't want to do it. Or sometimes an adult might ask you to do something and you're too scared to try something new. I know I feel like that sometimes, and I guess that's how Kevin felt. So his life was the same, no matter the day. The weeks came and went, and the months rolled away. And Kevin stayed still while the world moved around, until he awoke to a worrying sound. I wonder what that worrying sound was. Oh, I'm going to have to tip it up. Tap, 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 tap. The sound went. Well, this was a blow. Tap, tappity tap, tappity tap, tap, tap. Oh no. I wonder if you know what this bird is called. It's pecking. That's right, it's a woodpecker. Uncling, the crowd called. Uncling, the crown called. Uncling, the crown called that had gathered below. Leap and we'll catch you, just let yourself go. But Kevin was scared. Let go? No, I shan't. I won't, clung on Kevin. Oh dear, I just can't. Down came the tree with a cracking and pinging, crash and a wallop, with Kevin still clinging. Kevin, he carefully opened one eye, there he is, and looked up at the love staring down from the sky. Then one claw by claw he slowly unclung. He felt springy, light and happy and young. The worst he could think of had come to pass, and he was just fine. Why, he felt quite first class. So when Wombat held out a most welcoming paw, Kevin, he didn't hold back anymore. When Dingo asked, "Now will you come out to play?" the crowd all joined in with a "What do you say?" And even though this wasn't part of his plan, Kevin replied, "Yes, I think I can." Because life can be great when you try something new. So Kevin felt too scared to let go. He didn't want to try something. He accepted that he liked to cling on to his tree. But there was a different life. There was a life that all of his friends had down below. And I think even at the beginning of the story, when, although it seemed quite busy, I think even though he was clinging to this tree, he wanted to go and visit his friends, but he was just a bit too frightened to do it. Now, at the moment, it can feel a little bit frightening, and I know at the moment it can be a little bit sad because we can't do the things that we're used to doing. But actually, just like Kevin, there are lots of new things that we can do. I'm really pleased to see so many of you working so hard with your home learning. I'm amazed at all the wonderful stories you've been writing, the comic strips I've been seeing in year 2, and I know that those stories and those comic strips and the maths work that you're doing, sometimes it's a bit tricky, isn't it? Sometimes you're going to need some help from your adults, and I just want to say, keep going, adults. You're doing a super job. We know it's tricky, but all together we're doing the best that we can to make sure that we can all be back in school together as soon as we possibly can. Remember, Koala felt scared to do things. It's okay when we feel scared and worried, but it's important that we keep going. So keep going with all of that wonderful home learning that you're doing. I need you also to remember this. We do this a lot at school, don't we? Where can you see my heart? There it is. We talk about showing kindness and consideration. I need you to do something for me. Today, whether you're at home or at school, if you're at school when you get home, I want you to make sure you're helping your adults at home. We've been talking at school about making sure you say please and thank you, and seeing if your adults are okay, checking they're okay as well. Maybe unloading the dishwasher or helping to clear your plate after tea. All of those things really help each and every one of us in our family. So keep up the great home learning, keep up the great helping at home, and we'll see you all again very soon. Lots of love. Bye.